Welcome to Culture 24. Tonight we have 3 guests who will be talking about different events taking place from May the 16th to May the 18th for the Museums at Night Festival 2013 that will be happening across the UK. Now to introduce our 3 guests, Amy, David and Abida. Firstly, Amy will be talking about art events happening.
I'm going to talk about Random International's Connect 10 ideas for the Museums at Night. And basically Random International are a group of artists that create artwork and installations around sort of interaction and behaviours of their audience. And they were founded in 2005 and they normally use sort of light and movement to do this. So most famously they collaborated with the choreographer Wayne McGregor on the rain installations in the Barbican.
I went down there to go and have a look at the rain room at the Barbican and it was so busy down there. I think we queued for about 4 hours to get in, so it was definitely a busy one. But they originally set the exhibition up so it was meant to be running for 4 weeks and it was so popular that they ran it for 6 months.
I don't think they ever could have anticipated how popular it was, but I mean it was really spectacular if you got to see it.
Sounds fantastic. I wish I hadn't missed that. So are they going to do something similar to that for the Museums at Night?
Well, seeing as the rain installation at the Barbican took 4 years to sort of develop and execute, they're definitely trying to do something on a much smaller scale for Museums at Night. But they still want that interaction with the audience and that excitement. So they are still doing an experimental event that sort of really combines culture, nature and science, but they're looking to do it in different environments. So for this one they're using flower gardens, and that should be really interesting, and it's an event for all the family, so you can take your children along too.
Well, that's always good, so you can bring your children and interact with them. Thank you, Amy. So what about you, Abida? Any things to share with us?
Okay, well, I've been doing a lot of research on this new event, the Underground Ghost event, and it's something that I've actually experienced before when I was a young child. My father took me to this place and I was very frightened. But this place is a secret location, is in Hull, but originally it was used for the Royal Air Force.
Oh, that sounds
and
good.
It should really get everyone engaging and get everyone's heart pumping and get the real experience. And it's such a surreal experience.
Yeah, I can imagine. I love those kind of things. I remember, have you ever been to London Dungeons?
Yeah.
I mean, yes, I was so frightened.
I remember being as a kid, I think I was about 7, going with my friend, and as soon as all the Jack the Ripper stuff starts popping from the ceilings, and you start get really frightened, and it's so fake, but if you go there now, you'd laugh at it probably, but we were so scared running through the Great Fire of London, having to like hold on tight to my mum's hands, like screaming.
I mean, I remember when I was so frightened, I was holding on to my father's arm. I just didn't want to let go. It was such a scary experience.
These things, when you're children as well, they're much scarier.
Absolutely.
Well, thank you, Abida, for sharing with us. What about you, David?
Well, I've actually been looking at something a little bit more scary than even what you were looking at, funnily enough. I've been looking all over the UK for ghostly and paranormal events that have been going on, and specifically I've been looking at the South East. So
whereabout would you be doing that?
Well, I was looking specifically at Beckenham in Kent, where they've got the Royal Bethlem Hospital, which is a psychiatric hospital opened in 1247. It's one of the world's oldest psychiatric hospitals. Yeah, it was certainly scary. Certainly a scary experience.
Yeah, sounds it. So, did you get up to anything special there?
Yeah, well, they set up tours that went around the hospital. They've stripped out all of the debris and things that have been left where bits had collapsed and closed off areas and things like that. You could have a tour round, and they had video footage in rooms that they'd set up, so you could watch videos of when the hospital was opened, as it closed about 40 years ago. So they still had some recent footage from the hospital.
I think for me that would be the scary thing, knowing that it was all real and that's real footage you're watching.
Exactly, that was the thing. It's like sort of putting people in the place that you were standing in. Really did bring the experience sort of quite close to home, really.
That effect,
yeah. The hospital is only open after dark, so that obviously added again to the experience. I mean, what more could you want out of something?
Something a bit scary.
It really did contribute to that. But yeah, they're open again throughout the year. They do a lot of tours in the evenings, and they've got one coming up for the Museums at Nights Festival, which is the Gods, Dreams and Devils evening, and they're actually focusing down more on specific patients that were at the hospital during its time that it was open. So they're going to be getting quite up close and personal with the people that were at the hospital.
Oh, well, that sounds amazing. I would love to go there. I'd be very much up for that. Well, thank you, David. Well, that's all we have time for this evening. Remember, whatever your preference, whether it's science, art or history, please check the website for the Museum at Night Festival 2013 for more information on the up-and-coming events that they've been talking about, running from May 16th to May 18th. And now a big thank you to our guests, Amy and David and Abida, and thank you all at home for watching. Have a pleasant evening. Good night.